Hi Scorpio, and welcome to December reading. So let's see what's happening. You're coming to the front this time around because we have the great conjunction happening, and with this great conjunction being that you're a fixed sign, we are going to you're going to feel the shift more than anybody else. So make sure that you actually listen to that video as well. But let's start. I guess the jumper stopped me of shuffling. So you're getting a 7 of C. I think it's about the dreams and about the visions and about things you want. Maybe you want so much, and sometimes like when you want so much, maybe we are depressed, maybe we are depleted, maybe we feel constrained, like with all this kind of lockdowns and situation. Who isn't, right? And this to you could be kind of like escape in that dreamland. It's kind of like in that situation where you feel at least it's a kind of like some kind of like refuge of some sort. This card has a caveat, however, and the caveat is that it can actually take you down. And how it can take you down, that you feel that all of these dreams are unachievable, and instead of like feeling energized, we sometimes get depressed. But not you. You're getting here the Emperor. Maybe some of you are thinking of a perfect partner. It's really interesting because so far you're the first one that got this thing. So you might be dealing with Aries, you might be dealing with a Leo, and it's kind of like something that is really happening of some sort. Maybe there were like lofty goals and lofty ideas of this kind of combination before. Also, this is like 7 and 4, it's 11. It talks about some kind of healing quality. Somebody needs to heal of some sort. Maybe like, because these are like soap bubbles, they burst as soon as the kitty tries to touch them, like they go puff. But for a moment they have been freaking amazing and enthusiastically kind of like attended to. The Emperor being the year number 4 numerologically that we are going through is really talking about kind of like stability, and it's talking about control, it's talking about kind of direction that we really want to take. And you're getting grace. So grace is also suggesting that something really important is going to happen and take place during this Sagittarius transition. It's actually really a biggie for you. On the 1st of the month, we are going to go through this like new moon in Sagittarius. By the 14th, which also came through over here for you, we'll be having this eclipse in Sagittarius as well. It's almost like here looking the cat walking bravely through the water, which she absolutely hates, and also experiencing something completely new happening out of, the sun that is shining and the water. So there is like something really exciting happening for this kind of like eclipse that is going to take place on the 14th. We are breaking free from conventions and like telling you to break free. It's like, woo, look at that, kind of like swing parties and whatnot, right? No, I'm kidding. This is just also caricature of Scorpio sign. It's going to be a sense, an essence of some justice and support and balance, and you have to feel firm. You have to feel good for yourself. It's going to be about ethics, and you will not care about, it's almost like that your big wish is like almost like that elusive quality of this like El Dorado of some sort. Earth Kitten, you may have dealt with your kids. Maybe your kids were a little bit prickly, like the porcupine over here. Earth Kitten is like the Page of Pentacles over here. But this also could mean meeting somebody, exploring somebody who might be very different from you, who in nature kind of like reacts differently, who maybe you're more timid and they're more active, or vice versa. Earth Kitten is also very positive because it talks about pushing buttons in people. And in your case, mostly looks like the buttons that have been pushed could be studious buttons. Maybe you're opening yourself up to new dimension. Maybe you're opening yourself up to spiritual growth, right? This is also a very friendly and very comfortable card, right? Where clearly it's suggesting that there's like some kind of stability that is kind of generated from these kind of like very different attitudes. What is above you is 3 of C, but is reversed. So it's really interesting. I'm wondering if two of them are connected, that maybe somebody was in your life, which could be Sagittarius or Aries or a fire sign, but that someone, the same scenario here, right? We see this little sea lion joining the kitties. We have a porcupine joining the kitties. It's almost like the same theme, except here in this next phase, it looks like that you feel that you either don't belong somewhere or that somebody doesn't belong somewhere. It could be a 3 people kind of like situation, third party situation. It could be that you had like big hopes that, you know, somebody's going to come through, or somebody else had big hopes that you will come through, and maybe that's what suggests that you had to walk that kind of like tightrope in between and try to figure out, maybe somebody was your friend and you were taking that in consideration. Many of kind of these aspects may happen. And these, this is the immediate, something happening through. You have 8 of fire. And look at that. Like, look at those zoomies. This really talks about a burst of energy. To me, this card always means arrows of love. There's like something happening. There's like something passionate. There is something really lovely. I mean, you have a fire here that is really sizzling on this water. So there's like something steamy. There's something really, really lovely. I mean, it looks like it's calm on the back of somebody, or some situation that needs to be left behind. Maybe you were mulling it over, or maybe it took it forever to kind of like do it, because you kind of like look like you're maybe not doing anything, but you are going deep and deep and deep and deep and deep and Mariana Trench deep to really explore all of these nooks and crannies, how you really feel about it. It's not that you are like we air signs, we kind of plus plus plus, minus minus minus. Yeah, it's kind of like neutral. Oh, extra plus, we'll do it this way. We kind of like make it on a maybe more superficial level, where you're just doing it, or highly intellectual level where you're doing it kind of like completely deep inside. So then, wow, you're feeling fully comfortable with who you are. You're getting this Sea Queen, which is basically you coming through really nice and shiny. And keep in mind that this is now connecting this to the Great Conjunction. Please listen to that video. It's going to really be helpful. So this is really telling me that there is going to be impact on you, and you're going to be, it's kind of like impact that will be making impact on a society, because the Great Conjunction is what happens every 20 years when Saturn and Jupiter kind of like come really close. This time they're like pretty much overlapping, and they're overlapping in the sign of Aquarius. Sign of Aquarius is an air sign. So that's also big news, and it's also called the Great Mutation, where we go from earth signs to air signs. So this is where it really shift happens in a sense in a society, because air signs bring this like huge shifts in finances, in how we kind of like communicate to each other, our personal rights, and so on and so forth. So how do you kind of grasp that and come here? It's kind of like manifesting here. I really think that you'll be going through your own deep memories. You'll be re-examining your life story, the stories you're telling to yourself, who you really are. Are you going to say to yourself, really? Am I really that person? Or did I create an image of this person, right? It's almost like that maybe other people and other influences and everything that is happening around you is creating this kind of a completely new, new kind of like foundation for things to grow. You will be doing lots of inner work. You'll be doing you'll be setting lots of boundaries, I would say, like with some people who you thought they were very close, or maybe even with your family. And you might even change the idea about who is here to stay and who is there to go, right? You'll be getting lots of revelations coming your way. And so don't be afraid to deal with your wounds, because that's what Sea Queen is. She's saying you might have somebody who you have as a friend or a partner, a soft place to fall, you have freaking lots of people coming your way this time around. And you actually have lots of supportive people. But just because they're supportive, see, this is the tricky part. Like, they're supportive and they kind of like edge themselves in our life. Because sometimes you specifically, Scorpio, you want to be in your own world. You and maybe your partner, you and your partner and your kids. That's kind of a little nucleus that really needs to happen. So there is like sky kitten happening in your environment, which means things are happening to you. Somebody's going to be very inquisitive. Somebody might be like very blunt, demanding some answers from you, demanding to know what's up. It might get on your nerves because it's almost like you're going inside, you're going deep down, and somebody's continuously pulling you up to the surface. It's, for God's sake, kind of like leave me alone kind of a thing, right? And 5 of C, somebody is going to get very, very disappointed. There is a rejection in this card. I will kid you not, but I'm feeling you are the one who is rejecting something or somebody. And I think you're clearly like, telling somebody off, kind of like really bug off, kind of like go on, kind of leave me alone. And that's it. I was just saying leave me alone, and leave me alone card comes through, kind of a thing. But it's not that you will be alone though. You will, if you don't have a partner, you have a huge opportunities this month. You're going to have people who are attracted to you who will be very straightforward, who will be really kind of like head on. They will be very clear that they want you kind of like deeply and desperately, right? And maybe this is also going to confuse you, even though you kind of like this kind of like steaming passion. At the same time, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe somebody really gets disappointed because they are not part of or direction of your passion kind of like happening this time. Falseness. Or somebody was just simply a false witness. Or somebody was simply not telling you the truth. And kind of like just doing things that they want, and kind of like directing the water toward that, if I can use this kind of like wording, almost like they were trying to create circumstances and be in your face for you to notice them. And that's maybe why this is showing up over here. Or maybe this simply means that you need to kind of get some footing and ground about that yourself. Card is falseness, and it's saying to you kind of like, do not get suckered in something, in somebody's emotional world. You have to be really clear what you want. Sometimes we need to make painful decisions. Guys, don't forget the 14th is this eclipse that is like happening, as I mentioned to you. Check the video about the great eclipse, the great mutation. You are being really affected, and it's really, really important for you. And let's see the sign off for this year and where you should be kind of like setting your sights on for the next year. Whoa, Wizard of Awareness. What a lovely card. Let me read this for you. It says, your soul knows best, be still and observe. So yes, it's saying and talking about the stillness, but you will not be still on the surface this month. Lots of things will be happening. Lots of like clean the house will be happening. But let me read it for you. Mindfulness is about being observant and remaining neutral about what goes on in the world around you. This applies to the environment within you too. If you struggle inside yourself, stepping into an observer position gives you a new, powerful perspective that neutralizes any discomfort or overexcitement. You have the capacity to see things clearly now, unencumbered by opinion or desire. Wearing the world as a loose garment requires you to adopt a sense that nothing that happens to you is personal. People come and go, we see that here, and experiences evolve from one state to another in a continual shifting and change, no matter how much you want things to stay the same. The Wizard of Awareness asks you to give up your need to define or limit what you're experiencing now. It's all good. Let it be and watch the miracle unfold without any direct influence from you. So this is it, like you're pulling in, you're finding your emotional center, you're finding where is this comfortable temperature, and everybody that you at that stage don't feel should be there, you're kind of like getting rid of it. It's kind of like a completely different situation to move forward. So guys, if you want a reading with me, check me out on cattarot.ca. If you're a past client of mine, then you can get an annual reading. It's a little bit longer, hour and a half. It's not listed on my website, so contact me for this. And it kind of gives you all the quarterly reviews, every single astrological house, and kind of like predictions for it. And Lenormand, which is in itself a wonderful reading because it kind of gives you a little bit of a timeline and who happens, what, and when, etc. So you can kind of like better be able to put the notes down and spread your wings when it's time for it. So all the best, guys. Enjoy your best life, as this is going to be one of the crucial months, and then you're entering like this, the great conjunction on the 21st. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be life changing, and it's going to be shift changing. So make sure you check this video as well. But until then, I want to sign off for now, and I wish you Merry Christmas, a very, very Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. All the best.